Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Billy, and this is Jammer 360. We are back in Oregon. I had to make another trip down to see my dealer and look at some more baseball cards, but he is going to be mean to me and make me go play golf. Of course, I love to go play golf, but we're going to go play golf first, and then we'll come back and look at some cards and see if I can't find anything interesting.
Okay. Yankees clubs, right?
Left of it.
Alrighty, well, I ended up getting a few cards here. It's quite a big stack, so when we get back home, I'll go through it and we'll see what we got. Alright, so I made it back from my dealer, and I got a whole big bag of cards here, so I figure we'll just take a look and see what we got here as I'm throwing them all over the floor. The coolest thing, though, I got was right here. This is a little miniature of Wrigley Field. And you can see right here, it's autographed by the late, great Ernie Banks. I thought that was kind of a neat little item. So let's take a look at some of these cards. So I got like Johnny Bench, Jack Lambert, Terry Bradshaw. I'm a big Charger fan, so I got Big Fred Dean, a rookie Brett Favre. Then we got several of the Ichiros. Here's another Ichiro. Got some older ones too. Here's old Tim McCarver, Deion Sanders, Mark McGwire, another Mark McGwire. Even another Mark McGwire. I got a few of these things here too. This one is of Raleigh Fingers. We got Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Don Sutton, Manny Sanguian, 74. This was actually the first year of the cards that I started collecting, 1974. Rookie Kirby Puckett. Kirby Puckett. Can't go wrong with Kirby. Cal Ripken Jr. Ozzie Smith. Another Ryan Sandberg. Have you noticed there's little price tags on these things? Because this was actually from a dealership that went out of business. My dealer there bought him out and got all of his cards. That was Ozzie Smith. Ricky Henderson. Of course, the prices that are on it are nowhere what they are. Ivan Rodriguez, newly into the Hall of Fame. More Ivan. Cal Ripken Jr. Can never go wrong with Cal Ripken. Now, when I was stationed in Virginia, I used to go to a lot of the Oriole games, and the cool thing about Cal Ripken is every game he would stay and sign autographs. You could actually line up by the dugout, and by about the seventh inning there'd be a big line of people, and Cal Ripken would stand out there and sign autographs until everybody that wanted one got one. You don't see players doing that anymore. And if there was a night where he couldn't sign, they would actually announce it before the seventh inning, saying, "Oh, I'm real sorry." And it would actually be Cal Ripken. He'd say, "I'm real sorry, I can't sign tonight, but if you come back tomorrow, I will." Or we're leaving on a road trip early in the morning, so I can't really stay up till 4 in the morning signing autographs. And I live up here in Seattle now, so here's the big hero, Omar Vizquel. Back when he was with them, you know, he went on to be a big star in Cleveland. And Steven Strasburg, Bryce Harper, another Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, Steven Strasburg, old Ken Singleton, Darryl Strawberry, And Kuzman, back with the Mets. There's a mini Pujols. Another Pujols. Griffey Jr. Joey Votto. Ichiro. Robin Yount. Paul Molitor. Paul Molitor. Another Paul Molitor. Rated rookie Maddox. Joe Morgan. I went on a plane trip to DC, and I stopped in the airport in Detroit, and happened to be sitting there waiting for a plane was Sparky Anderson, and we actually set up a conversation for about 45 minutes. And I asked him about players that he had coached and stuff, and who his best players were. And he said Joe Morgan was by far his smartest player. And at the time, Joe Morgan was doing the Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. And he said, you know, if Joe Morgan didn't have such that great gig on ESPN, he should be managing because he was the smartest player. And Willie Stargell. More Ichiro. You know, Ichiro's a big old hero up here. Ichiro. Back when Ichiro was at his height, and you'd go to the Seahawks Stadium or the Mariner Stadium there, it's Petco, Safeco. Petco's in San Diego. In Safeco, the whole right field would be sold out. That's where Ichiro would stand, and they would actually sell these packages to Japanese tourists. So that whole area would be filled with Japanese tourists cheering for Ichiro. It would be the best place to sit if you could get a ticket there. It's just fun. The electricity that the Japanese baseball fan is great. More Ichiro. Ichiro. Roberto Alomar. More Robin Yount. Eric Davis, big star at his time. A miniature of Al Oliver. Now, when I was a kid, my favorite players were Steve Garvey, Pete Rose, and Al Oliver. It's a shame Al Oliver is not in the Hall of Fame because this guy was a big star. I think he's only a few hits away from 3,000. He's got over a 300 batting average. Pujols. More Pujols. Robin Yount. Cal Ripken Jr. David Wright, who retired this year. And now I spent a big time collecting the Seattle Pilots because, you know, they're from here and they became the Milwaukee Brewers. But also in 1974, there was the San Diego Padre team was being moved to Washington. So they actually came out with a card of the 74 season, and it said Washington. It's Washington National League. They haven't had it named him yet. But then Ray Kroc from McDonald's came in, bought the team, and kept him in San Diego. But because of those little cards that were released and then recalled, some got out. So I spent years trying to collect them all, and I finally got them all. Same with the Seattle Pilots. You know, I've been trying to collect all them, and this is one of the last few. It's the manager card. And we got a Barry Bonds. Look at this big goodie bag. So Molina, Tom Seaver, more Joe Morgan, Doc Gooden, Ryan Sandberg, rookie card, Willie McCovey. Here we go, rookie Roger Clemens. Second year Wade Boggs. There's a Fleer rookie Fleer rookie of Ryan Sandberg. A-Rod. Another A-Rod. Robin Yount. Yadier Molina. Ozzie Smith. More Ichiro. More Ichiro. Can never have too many Ichiros. King Griffey Jr. Lou Brock, towards the end of his career. Lou Brock. Jose Cruz. As you can see, I like to collect older cards more than newer cards. Ted Simmons. Roger Clemens, Mike Trout, of course, Mike Trout and Harper. You want to get all those you can. Pujols, Colton Wong, Ozzie Smith. Now this one's going to be kind of hard to see. You probably can't hologram, but it is Ozzie Smith also. Robin Yount. Got a lot of Robin Younts in this group. He was a big star when he was 19. Robin Yount. Omar Vizquel rookies. Edgar Martinez, another big hero up here in Seattle. In fact, the road in front of the stadium is Edgar Martinez Way. King Griffey Jr. Again, my buddy Al Oliver. There's a Bill Verdon from the 60s. Yadier Molina. Randy Johnson. More King Griffey Jr. Stadium Club. Alright, so the last few. Now I got this big old bag, including the stadium, for about $100. So it was actually a really good deal. Mark McGwire. Here's a die-cut Deion Sanders. More Robin Yount. Anthony Rizzo. Cubby, used to be a Padre. Joe Nuxhall. What's Joe Nuxhall's claim to fame? Well, Joe Nuxhall was called up when he was 14 to play in the game, and then he was sent back to high school, and then came up later with the Reds. A-Rod. Ivan Rodriguez. Little Pudge. More Ivan rookies. Bert Blyleven. Finally, he made it to the Hall of Fame. 287 wins. And so it's long to get into the Hall of Fame, mainly because he was such a jerk to the press, but to fans, I always loved this guy. So, Bert Blyleven. Dave Concepcion. Juan Gonzalez. More Ivan. McGwire. Tony Perez. Barry Larkin, Dave Concepcion, George Foster, Dave Concepcion. As you can tell, I was a big red machine fan in the 70s. It was Padres, Dodgers, Reds. Those were my three teams. And then I would kind of like the Pirates too because of Al Oliver and Richie Zisk too. He's another big favorite of mine. Don Gullett and Gary Sheffield. Johnny Bench. Tom Seaver. Now I saw Tom Seaver get his 297th win against the Baltimore Orioles at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Gary Sheffield. And the very last one of the box, Kent Tekulve, sidearm throwing reliever. Played on the team that won the World Series in '79. So that was my trip to the dealer, Brian. And so I got a pretty good stash for my $100. I'm actually going to go down and see him again down in Oregon. He's like 3 hours away. I'm going to go down and see him again this weekend. He says he got in another collection, so I'm going to go rifle through that and see if I can't find some good stuff. Yeah, I met Brian when I first moved up to the Northwest back in '98. I just moved to a little town where my parents lived down in Oregon, and went downtown looking for a card shop, used bookstore, anything, and I found this little shop, and Brian was just sitting in there, and got to talking with him. Spent about $3,000 in cards over the period of 10 days, and I'm a big softball player, and so was he, and he had a team, so he got me over there on his team, and we've been lifelong friends now for 20 years. And his card shop grew and grew, and he moved into a mall, had this big old shop, and then all of a sudden he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And he sold it all and bought a used car dealership. And I actually bought my first Corvette from him. But it's been a few years now, and he's been itching to get back in it. So he's been buying big collections from people, and then out of his house, he'll call me up, and he does things on eBay, or he just knows people like me that he calls up and say, hey, I got a bunch of cards, come down and take a look. So I don't think he's going to jump back in and get a dealership or anything, because he's doing pretty good with the cars, but I'm glad he's back into selling these. So that's the end of my trip to my dealer. I just want to say here with winter, there's going to be a lot less trips. Corvette stuff's going to be going away. So I'm going to kind of switch for the next several months and be hitting on baseball cards, football cards. I'm going to have boxes to open up, going down to my dealer. Plus, I've got almost 1 million cards of my own. So I'm going to bring out some of my favorites and show them off to you. So I hope you all keep following me as we move forward. And I look forward to see you all again real soon. Thanks. Bye.